What's up, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Hoops Betting Hour. I am your host, the big man on campus, Jeff Nadu. We are back here on a hump day, Wednesday, getting ready for another night of NBA playing games. We break it all down for you here. We are closer and closer to the start of the playoffs, which get going this Saturday. Can't wait for the NBA playoffs. It is going to be a terrific couple of months here, all the way up until the end of July. It's nice this year because you have a little bit longer of a season. Blackjack kind of bridges that gap between the end of the NBA normally and college football and the NFL. You'll have August where you have to kind of get ready, but it's a nice little bridge. July is usually a pretty dead month.
Yeah, I'll say, one of the things that may have come out of this pandemic as a blessing in disguise is the sports calendar change. I hope it stays because I never understood why the NBA didn't start their season on Christmas Day. It didn't make any sense to me. That way you can run through the summer. You'll own the summer. Same thing with the NHL to a lesser extent. You see it now with hockey. The NHL playoffs are going to go into the summer deeper. There's nothing on the calendar but baseball. Why not do it? Obviously, not with ice issues in some places that can be a problem. But, the NBA, open it up Christmas Day, man.
Yeah, we talked about some things that the leagues changed that we necessarily didn't like. This is one thing that I would agree with. It has to continue, okay?
Yeah.
You really need to obviously own the summer, and I think you can with things like a longer season, getting into the end of July. And for sports fans, it really helps because it bridges that gap. July is usually, how many times in your life have you said, wow, July 4th, and there is nothing on, or, in that middle of July, it's just a rough time. So shout out to the NBA. Hopefully they continue doing this. But we are back here on the show. As always, we are here every day breaking down the NBA card. I will be here tomorrow. I will be here Friday. We'll be breaking down the one game on the card, and we'll get into some series and some games of that nature as well. So make sure you're joining us every day, all the way into Saturday when the playoffs begin. Blackjack, how you doing today? How's everything going this morning?
Fantastic, brother. Like you said, we're getting ready for playoff time, man. This is when the rubber meets the road.
Yes, it really does. And this year, obviously, they have the new play-in tournament, but there's a lot to be excited about. These two games tonight are expected in the Western Conference to be pretty damn good. Last night's game, though, weren't particularly good, and let's just get into them real quick. There wasn't a ton to say about them. We will break down both of these games tonight from a props, from a side, from a total standpoint here in just a second. Before we do that, though, thanks everybody for watching. A couple of people already in the chat. If you're here and you're watching, you want to communicate with us, there is a live chat box on YouTube. Just get involved, ask your questions, ask whatever you want, make your comments, and we'll get you on the show. And as always, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. Every time you watch a video, if you enjoy the video, whether it's on this channel or any other channel, there are content creators that create that content. One great thing you can do to support it is by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, because generally, if you watch something every day or every couple of days, you like it. You want to enjoy it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to help those people out that make that content. Last night, Blackjack. I don't know what that performance was from the Charlotte Hornets. I know when we talked about this game yesterday, I thought the big concern to me was, obviously I know Charlotte can't defend. I've kind of talked about that for a while, but
Yeah.
Offensively, they just weren't as good as Indiana, and even without Karis LeVert, they did enough. Just an incredible offensive night, and you didn't even get that much offensively out of Sabonis. You only got you got 16 out of Brogdon, but it was the bench that really seems like the strength of this group right now. A blowout victory for the Pacers.
Yeah, I was shocked by that game, to be honest with you. When I saw Karis LeVert was ruled out earlier in the day, I thought, all right, this is the time to go and hit the Hornets here because, without LeVert, I didn't think that the Pacers would stand much of a chance. Sure as hell didn't expect them to go and blow them out the way they did. Credit to the Pacers for doing the damn thing, right? And playing really well. But, in a way, I'm kind of glad, Jeff, because this means that I'm going to get another opportunity to fade the Pacers, which is one of my favorite things to do in basketball right now. So I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, and it seems to be that it's going to be a tough matchup. And I think, again, they're not going to score 144 points. Well, they actually might, actually, when you look at who they're,
They might, but they also might give up 144.
That's true. Listen, going into the offseason, it's becoming abundantly clear. And look, the issue that the Charlotte Hornets are going to have is, you're not going to get one of those high-level players. And look, the NBA draft, it's been pretty evident over the years that, you really need to be in the lottery. And they're going to be in the lottery, but it's going to be late lottery. Look, it's imperative that the Charlotte Hornets draft a big. A big that can perform right away.
I never understand teams in the NBA that are content with being like 5 through 8 or 9 in their conference. Yeah. If you are not going to be a consistent, I'll say top 3 or 4 team in the conference, which is what realistically is a legitimate contender, right?
Yeah.
If you are not going to be one of those teams, you need to bottom out and totally scrap it and build through the draft. This idea of finding a transformative player at like 16 through 22, is it impossible? No. Has it happened? Yes. Is it a good strategy to rebuild your team? No, it's not.
Yeah, this was the problem that Sixers had for years. Really, after the Iverson years in the late 2000s, they were kind of just mired in this. We're going to make the playoffs as like the 7 or 8 seed, and we're going to draft guys like Andre Iguodala, and they're going to lead our team, but they're not good enough to lead a team. Listen, the Charlotte Hornets are doing it the right way. They've definitely built it. They went through the bad years. They're trying to compete. Listen, all they need to do, though, and I mean this, if they can go out and find a really good center, a really good big, I think they're going to make the next step. They just didn't have the front court. You can't go out and throw out Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller. All due respect, they don't have Frank Kaminsky anymore. They don't have a competent enough big. And in the NBA draft, they're going to have a pretty solid pick. And they don't necessarily, it's not a foregone conclusion they have to hit, but they need to get someone that could come in and contribute. And the problem that this draft has, significantly, it does not have a good group of bigs. It just doesn't. All in all, though, it does at the top of the draft with a guy like Evan Mobley or someone like that. But when you're getting into the 15 to 20 range, you're going to have to take a shot. A guy like Charles Bassey out of West Kentucky makes a lot of sense for them. We'll see what they end up doing. Maybe a Kai Jones. We'll see what they end up doing. But this is a team that must address the center position going forward. All right, the other game. Look, I guess it was a bit better. But, the Boston Celtics really kind of just pulled away in the second half.
Yeah.
The third quarter was terrific for them, outscoring the Wizards by 12, really made some adjustments at the half. And look, they did what we wanted them to do. We talked about this on the show yesterday. You've got to turn the Washington Wizards Blackjack into a jump shooting team. And they were able to do that. Russell Westbrook, I hit on that prop last night, under 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists. They did a nice job on Russell. They did a pretty admirable job on Bradley Beal. No one really beat the Celtics. Nice defensive job. Jason Tatum, terrific. What more do you say about this guy?
Tatum has blossomed into the player I think that we all thought he could be when he came out of Duke, right? He's been unbelievable. I still don't trust the Celtics. I still don't like the Celtics. I think that they're a team that, people go on about Brad Stevens. I think for a team with this much talent on the roster, they've underperformed. I think he gets a pass for a lot of it. And I'm not thrilled.
We talked about this on the show. When you're a team like the Boston Celtics, you have the ability to really right your wrongs. It's playoff time. And you're right. The Celtics are inconsistent. And they've taken the next step and the next step, and they're going to keep taking steps. You got to get in the playoffs, though, and you have to make these series a series. Putting in playoff games is cool, but it's just a game-by-game kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see if they can prove you wrong. We'll see if they can prove a lot of people wrong.
Listen, I hope they do. They're going to play the Nets in the first round, and listen, I don't like the Nets at all in the Eastern Conference. I think they're a vulnerable team. I wish the Celtics were full strength. But we'll see. I hope they beat Brooklyn.
Yeah, it would be it's gonna be pretty impressive watching Tatum and Kemba against Durant, Harden, and Irving. We'll see if I mean those games are gonna turn into like 125, 122 type of games. So we'll see how they go. But all in all, a pretty poor night for the NBA. Games weren't really they just weren't that interesting. They were blowouts. But if you were a Celtic fan or you were a Pacer fan, you were happy. By the way, Indiana got legalized sports betting, I believe, recently. So, they were finally able to bet on their teams. That's pretty cool. By the way, if you're in a place like Indiana, you're in a place like Colorado, you're in a place like Pennsylvania or New Jersey, make sure you're checking out FanDuel. It is the king of sportsbooks. It's that simple. They've got anything you want to bet on. They've got something called same-game parlays, which a lot of people like. They have player combos where you can bet props. They've got all sorts of stuff, and they have things that you're getting that you're probably not going to get other places. So make sure you're checking out FanDuel. They are the top shelf sportsbook. Okay, it's like comparing, a high-level tequila with a low-level tequila. They're just not the same. It's like getting, filet mignon or, a Delmonico. There's a major stark difference. Let's get into it. Blackjack, what do you think? Let's talk about these games tonight.
Let's do it.
Drew Daddy says whole world was on both Charlotte and Washington. Yes, they were. Washington was a big public bet last night, and that got its doors caved in. All right, first game on the card. This one goes at 7:35 Eastern. Shout out to the NBA. They actually start on time in the playoffs. 7:35 Eastern. Grizzlies hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Grizzlies laying 4, total 223. This is a really interesting game because you and I have talked about the Spurs. You mentioned they're a really tough team to back. You never know what kind of team you're going to get. Defensively, they're solid. Offensively, they're solid, but not great. I do like the fact that they have some things in this game that I think can bother the Grizzlies. Everything from, a guy like DeJounte Murray, who I really think can guard John Morant. Jakob Poeltl, pretty good defender as well. And you look at when he's off the court, this defense really struggles. I think he can put a body on Jonas Valanciunas. And by the way, Jonas Valanciunas has been on fire. I mean, you look at the last 10 games. Now, he's played in 8. He's averaged 18 points a game, over 14 boards, a couple of blocks. This guy's been on fire. Shout out to Jonas Valanciunas. Really become a solid big. He's always been a solid big, but he's really done the thing for Memphis. Another concern I have for the Grizzlies here, Blackjack, this is a team that likes to run. They're big into fast break points. They're big into points off turnovers. This is a Spurs team that's very good. They don't turn the ball over. In fact, number 1 in the NBA in not turning the basketball over. They handle the ball well. They have good guard play. That's concerning. Neither team's efficient. Neither team shoot a lot of threes. I think this Spurs team needs to take a book out of the Celtics book last night. Turn Memphis into jump shooters. The other night, Golden State did against John Morant. Turn him into a jump shooter. I thought this number would have been 2.5, 3. I think 4. I'm starting to get a little bit more interested in the Spurs here. I know it's not easy, and I know that they're not as deep as the Grizzlies. They just aren't. But I trust DeRozan. I always have. I like DeRozan a lot. I like Lonnie Walker. I like Murray. I think Poeltl can put a body on Jonas. I don't know if I'm going to bet this one. It's not the game I love tonight, but I'm going to lean on the Spurs here. I think this is a close game. I think we get some good ones tonight. I think this one comes down to the wire.
I'm going to bet this game, and I'm going to bet it using every single thing you just said and applying it to the total. I'm going to play under 223 here.
I like it a lot.
And I'm going to play it because, what you said is exactly right? The Grizzlies want to run. That's what they want to do. San Antonio is going to make that tough for them, okay, with the way that they play. It's not going to be easy. But people also forget that Memphis can play some defense when they need to, okay? Yeah. They can defend. And if this game slows down the way we both expect it to, then this is going to become more of an older school Memphis game from the beginning part of the season when they were really locking down defensively than the up and down games of the second part of their season. 223 to me is, I think, a generous number. I think, listen, it's playoff time, Jeff. I think that we're going to start to see teams play a little bit different. And, I know last night the Pacers put up 144. I get it, right? But this is a Memphis team that is capable of defending, a San Antonio team that is going to make it much harder on Memphis to run the way that they normally do. I think this game screams for an under.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at Memphis, I mean, they're not just good defensively, they're pretty damn good. I mean, sixth in the NBA in defensive efficiency. San Antonio, not terrible, not great either. I think it really is going to be do you get the San Antonio team that is kind of involved? It's playoff time though, and they should be. I thought towards the end of the season they were, kind of out of it in certain games. You're going to have to get big minutes from Pirtle. You're going to have to get big minutes out of Murray. But I think they can lock down those two.
Listen, it's like, Jeff, I know you're a boxing fan. It's the old saying, styles make fights, right?
Sure.
These two teams, the styles mesh perfectly for this game to be like 105-101.
Yeah, I just think the key tonight is, if you're Morant, you're the guard, you want to thrive off turnovers. San Antonio just doesn't really oblige you in that. Now, look, that doesn't mean maybe they turn it over 20 times tonight. I don't know. But, again, when you're looking at it on paper, look, Popovich is the best coach in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's going to implore, make them shoot the basketball. They're not a good three-point shooting team. And again, that's going to muddy up the waters. It's not going to be like last night's Celtics game where it was 118-100. But I think when you kind of lessen the scores a little bit, I think this game's like a 111, 108 or something. Like I think it'll be close. But
I do too.
When you get into the 220s, I do think that's just a bit high. I like your thinking. I like the under as well. For me, I'm going to definitely lean on the Spurs here. Wouldn't surprise me if the Spurs win this game 110, 107, or something. I just think 4 is too many. I had it at 2.5, 3. I think 4. If I'm getting 4 and I'm having to bet this, I'm leaning towards the Spurs. Yeah. And look, I like the Grizzlies. Two teams that. Listen, say what you want about Charlotte. I don't think they belong in the playoffs. I don't. Sorry. I do think these two teams more or less do. They're both, I think, they're not the Lakers and the Warriors from a sizzle standpoint, but I think this will be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
It will.
Julian Cesario, I don't trust unders.
Playoff time, you have to.
I mean, listen, that whole moniker of I don't bet, I know, but it's the NBA and historically it's been proven.
I don't love betting unders in the regular season in the NBA, but come playoff time, that's legit. You need to pay attention to the unders.
It's a whole different ball game when you get into the playoffs. And look, I know last night, especially in that first game, it didn't really prove, but look at the second game. The Wizards kind of in the second half, frankly, packed it in. I mean, they didn't really seem to care that much. Go ahead and say that. But at the end of the day, historically, the numbers are much better. By the way, Blackjack, in the playoffs, when two teams meet and their previous matchup went over in the regular season, the total has gone under 25-10, 71.5% of the time since basically 2014. So, again, these teams have seen each other. Okay, so they're not. Miami Chuck, thanks for watching. Sam, thanks for watching. I Need Money. It's a good name. We think we all do. He says, Wizards are dog crap. Okay, you're still talking about the Wizards, pal. Move on. Wizards lost. It happens. Next one. And this is the one I really want to get into. I love this.
This is the one everyone wants.
Yeah, I'm very high on this game. I love one side here. Lakers laying 5.5, total 218. Must-watch TV, right? I mean, you have to watch this game.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the NBA was hoping for when they got the playing game set up.
This is it.
You
This is the
want
ideal scenario.
I think, though, when the rubber meets the road and this game goes off, I just don't think this is a particularly good matchup for the Golden State Warriors. Now, I know Stephen Curry is a guy that usually defies logic, if you will, but I think we got a really interesting blueprint as to what this game means. I think if you watch the late games in the season when Curry played against the Suns, the Jazz, playoff teams, they had the blueprint to defend him. And I talked about it yesterday. You really, once he crosses half court almost, you have to double him. Get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, you got to trap him.
Yeah, trap, exactly. You can't let him mess around at the top of the key and catch and shoot. They used kind of spies, if you will, like a Royce O'Neal type. The Lakers are so long. I mean, whether it's Talon Horton-Tucker or whoever, they have long defenders in the perimeter. In fact, one of the better perimeter defenses in the league. This is a lockdown defensive team. Probably the best defensive team in the NBA. Better than those two teams we talked about. I also don't really know how the Warriors match up with the bigs down low. Who guards Anthony Davis on this team? They just don't have, I think, outside of Curry, really the guns to run with the Lakers. And with Schroeder, Davis, and LeBron healthy, or mostly healthy, this offense is very good for the Lakers. At the end of the day, let me ask you this, Blackjack, and I just want a yes or no answer. If Stephen Curry scores 50, is that even enough to win this game?
Yes.
Because is the rest of the team going to score 70? Because I think that's what they're going to have to do. I love the Lakers here. I think anything under 6 is a play I have to make,
right.
And I'm going to make it. Lakers
Here's
win.
what I would say. I think that you are making the smart play. I'm going to make the dumb one, and I don't know why.
No,
I just
don't do it.
There are some times, and you know this, there are some times you got a feeling about something, and I don't know what it is, brother. I think Steph Curry wants this game real bad. Real bad.
Well,
I think he'd love to beat this Lakers team in this kind of a scenario. I don't know that the Lakers are fully cohesive. I don't know that they're the Lakers quite yet. The pieces are there, but, I mean, LeBron's been back for, a game or two? I mean, Anthony Davis been in and out of the lineup. I don't know. I know I'm
I don't know, though, man.
I just you know what it is? If I punch a ticket for the Lakers tonight and Steph Curry goes off for 50 and beats me, I'm going to kick myself in the ass all night. If I play the Warriors catching 5.5 and they don't cover, fine. Like, I can live with it.
I'm saying this with legitimacy. If he scores 50, I don't know if that's enough to beat the Lakers. I just don't. The Lakers are really good with Schroeder and LeBron. And look, I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem like you think. I thought LeBron looked pretty damn good. This team scored 122 and then 110 in a game that didn't matter. But, the game that they had to win, they absolutely beat up the Pacers and scored a ton of points.
They did, but that doesn't impress me. I think the Pacers are
right,
trash bag of a
but
team.
Again, the point is, from a cohesion standpoint, it seemed like they didn't miss much of a beat. Frankly, listen, I think their Lakers are with this team.
Oh,
they are the best team in the West with this team.
Listen, I'm not going to argue that they're not. I mean, they're the defending champions. I mean, I still like Utah better if Utah's fully healthy. But, you talk about Golden State and the way Utah and Phoenix defended Steph, and you're right. But Golden State still managed to win both of those games.
Yeah, man, that's true.
I mean, they did put up 136 against Oklahoma City. They put up 125 against the Pelicans. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for them because nothing has been easy for this team all year except for Steph Curry hitting 5+ threes a night.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Curry is going to have to play the whole game. You're not going to be able to sit out because
you're not going Steph Curry 3-point prop.
No, I'm not. When he's off the court, I just think that this offense is bad. I mean, they just don't have much outside of Steph Curry. Can you depend on Jordan Poole? Can you depend on Draymond Green offensively?
No.
I mean, they're good players, but they're not great. I think this is a very good line. In fact, here's the issue as well. Okay, and here's why I would tell you you're getting a better line. This line opened 7, and it was bet down So again, I guess, I think people kind of thought in your thing, you're just going to hope Steph can will you into a cover here. I will say, I think if you like both favorites, you'd probably just want to get rid of the points and do one of those,
Money
plus
line.
money 2-team parlay money lines and just kind of avoid. But I like the Lakers. I see like this game, 118, 109 or something. I think they do enough.
Can we? There's two things I want to address. First, you mentioned guys like Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. Let's not pretend the Lakers supporting cast is like filled with all-stars. It's not, okay?
I mean, it's better than what they have.
Jalen Horton Tucker. I mean, like, are these guys really markedly better than what Golden State's got?
Well, yeah.
Offensively?
Yeah. Kuzma's way better. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's solid. Caruso's solid. Wesley Matthews solid. Talent. They're better than what – who are you going to throw out there? Juan Toscano? Like – come on, man.
I mean, the problem is, Jeff, they're not that much better. They're in this position because when their all-stars were gone, these guys couldn't win a damn game.
Well, yeah. But again, I don't know if you remember, but they were missing a guy called LeBron James.
Correct. Right.
And
agreed.
Schroeder. Listen, Schroeder's the most important player in this team. Okay? I'm going to tell you again.
Dennis Schroeder. The other thing I want to address
he's good. He's a good point guard.
One of our comments here, Cold R, said, LeBron legacy way too good to lose this game. Can we not pretend like LeBron James hasn't lost big games in his career? Because he's lost quite a few of them.
Yeah. Somebody's saying Big Man is drunk if he thinks the Lakers are the best team. Oh, yeah. I mean, because with this team, they didn't win the championship last year.
Listen, I'm not arguing that the Lakers are not a top team in the West. In my mind, they're top two. But it's because of LeBron and Anthony Davis. The rest of this team is a pile of garbage if those guys aren't there. Okay?
I will say. Let me recalibrate here. You mentioned Steph Curry threes. I just don't want to play because it's the playoffs and I got to lay 150. If this were like a better number at 5.5, I'd probably play it because Colbert does make a good point. He's gonna have to shoot a lot.
He's gonna shoot a ton.
I mean, do you have to take his over 36.5? You have to, right? He's got to score 40 to have any shot.
He has to, and if you could find like a prop where you could, one of those like prop builder things. What is the over on his 3-point attempts that you would take tonight?
Well, you could do it. FanDuel has alternate lines. You could do like over 4.5 threes. What do you think the price is on that?
Over how many?
4.5.
To make 4.5?
Yeah.
It's probably minus 240.
390.
Ooh.
Very shaded. They don't want you taking it. Listen, Stephen Curry over 36.5 points makes a lot of sense.
I think he makes 8 threes tonight.
Yeah. If I'm going to play anything with the Warriors, that's what I'm doing. I'm just looking at Steph Curry, and that's it. Because, listen, Steph Curry, and then, look, if he goes, I could hit both because I think he can go off and they'll still lose by 10. So, look, here's the thing. And Sean Harrison is saying it here on the chat. The Warriors without Steph are bottom feeders. Agreed. They're the Kings. That's what they are.
I agree with you, but the Lakers without LeBron and Anthony Davis are not any better.
Yeah.
They went from Jeff. They went from
they're a playoff team probably without
to a play-in tournament without those two guys. It's the same crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. We're on the other sides here. You like Warriors plus 5.5. I'm going with the Lake Show. I'll gladly take my chance with an offense that is significantly better with LeBron, Schroeder, and Davis in there. And if you actually think, and I know, Mr. Hypocrite LeBron, couple things you'll say recently, well, maybe the playoffs mean something to him. You don't think this playoff game is he doesn't want to play in this game, but he's going to shut people up, if you know what I mean. Listen, here's what we're going to do. This is going to be fun, and I want to tell everybody that's watching this about this. I urge you to jump in. Tonight I'm going to do a live stream for this game. Blackjack will be on it. I'll be on it. We'll be watching this game live right here on this TV. I will be watching it. We'll be doing it. I don't know. We'll probably do it on this stream, I would imagine. That would be a good way to build subscribers. So check that out. 10 o'clock Eastern. We're going to do that. So if you want to jump in, I'm sure we'll have some fun with that. So it'll be a great game to watch. And we'll be on opposite sides, so it'll be electric. Right, Blackjack?
Let's go.
I'm sure you'll be imbibing a little bit.
Damn right.
I mean, if you know about Blackjack, he likes to imbibe, if you know what I mean.
Damn right. Make sure I got a good supply for the game.
Yes. If you have any questions or comments, now's the time. We've wrapped up the games. What we'll do here in just a second is we will break down our best bets. But I'll ask you, Blackjack, we continue to start to see lines for the actual series that have already gotten started. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm probably going to get more of this. And there's a line that I set on paper that I loved. And it actually went down considerably, and I love it as well. I love Portland, Denver over 228.5. It's now 226.5, and I'm probably going to bet it again. What are people seeing that I'm not seeing here? You've got
I don't understand because
Yeah.
Portland plays no defense. They don't even attempt to play defense, really. I think the idea of it makes them sick. And the Nuggets are not. They just don't have the personnel to do it at this point. Like they've been miserable defensively all season long.
Who guards
These two
Lillard?
just want to run. They're just going to run up and down on each other.
Yeah, Portland's defense is bad, and Denver's very efficient. Listen, the thought of Facundo Campazzo and Austin Rivers guarding C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard is frightening. They're not going to get Will Barton back.
Yes.
P.J. Dozier's not coming back. And listen, they don't have Gary Harris anymore either. So I think defensively, we saw in the bubble last year, they stopped playing defense. I think this game turns in quickly, this series, to a mess of a series. I do think it goes 7. I've said that. I think Portland finds a way to get it done. Who guards Nurkic, or who guards a Jokic for Portland? Nurkic? Cantor? Give me a break. Jokic props.
Oh yeah, Jokic is going to kill those guys. He's going to kill those guys. But the problem is that, like you said, Lillard and McCollum will get absolutely anything they want.
Malone said Gordon's going to guard Lillard. Yeah, good luck with that. Listen, Damian Lillard's another guy. You just can't really guard. He destroyed Mikal Bridges the other night.
Dude,
what makes you think
Damian Lillard in the playoffs is going to get whatever he wants, and against a team that can't defend in the backcourt, he's going to torch the Nuggets. And so is C.J. McCollum.
Yeah, and look, they have also Norman Powell, who's a big shooter now, Carmelo Anthony. The good thing about any of those guys, though, is they don't play defense. But actually, let me ask you, you're a Knicks fan. You've talked about the Knicks. You're very high on this team. You can agree, though, that Tom Thibodeau is not exactly a playoff wonderkin, if you will.
Nope.
I love the Hawks in this series. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They're way better offensively. They can definitely guard Randall with Capella and Collins. This is why you brought Capella in. I think the case could be made. Nick McMillan's had one of the best coaching grabs here in a long time. This team is significantly better. This guy should win GM of the Year, the Hawks GM. Terrific. Absolutely fantastic.
I think he did a great job bringing McMillan in. You're right about that. I wouldn't.
No, but look at the moves he made.
I know.
This team's good.
I know, but had he hired Nate McMillan to start the season, this team might be a top 3 team.
Yeah, Lloyd Pierce struggled.
But instead, they went with Lloyd Pierce. Listen, I like the Knicks. I think that the Knicks are – let me start by saying this is – Sam, I'm going to disagree. I think that this is a longer series.
Sweet.
Because
Yikes.
I think the Knicks are going to get a couple of games here. Ultimately, Jeff, I'm with you. I think that the Hawks are not a good matchup for the Knicks because – if we look at the Knicks defense, and you mentioned you thought the Lakers were the best defense in the NBA, I would take the Knicks, but I have them 1-2. The only place where the Knicks can be, where they can have struggles defensively is perimeter. I think their perimeter defense is not their strength, and I think Atlanta is going to make them pay for that. It's not a great matchup for New York. So I would say I think it's a long series. I think it's 6 or 7 games. I would lead Atlanta.
Yeah. Here, I'll just say this. I'm not going to try to sell you a bill of goods that Atlanta is a good defensive team. But let's just talk about basically the previous full season. They were basically the equivalent of like 30th in the NBA in defensive efficiency. They're now in the low 20s. So being as good there offensively now, they don't have to necessarily be as good on the defensive end. And if you can limit Randall, I think you're going to have
Well, and that's the thing too, is that people focus on the Knicks defense, and as they should. The Knicks defense is excellent, but the Knicks offense is not good, and that's something that a lot of people forget. Is the Knicks rely on their defense to create offense because they can't really do it on their own.
I'll tell you too. You look at the first game out of the gate in New York. Knicks are a 1.5 point favorite. Hawks are going to win that game. How the whole world's going to bet the Knicks.
See,
that number's going to go to 1, and everyone's going to say, what's going on?
Likely to get one of these first games, it's game 1. I could see the Knicks winning game 1 and then dropping 3 in a row.
See, I think they lose game 2. Or they lose game 1 and win game 2, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would go the other way around because I think that's going to be – I think the Knicks are going to be significantly more hyped for this game 1 than Atlanta will be. I think that just the way this team is – being at home, I could see New York winning game 1 and then dropping a couple in a row.
By the way, a narrative that must stop, and if I hear it again, I'm going to jump off my 3rd floor balcony. Can we stop with the NBA is only good when the Knicks are good? Shut up. Okay?
No, it's
the Knicks,
not only
who cares?
Good.
First of all, you still all watch the playoffs.
Listen, I think that, do I enjoy watching Madison Square Garden when it's full? And
it's not, though.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is, there are certain teams like, when the Knicks are good, the Lakers are good. It's interesting, right? It's a storyline. But at the end of the day, we weren't watching the Warriors before Steph and Clay got there, and then they got there and the Warriors became must-watch TV. So it doesn't really matter.
By the way, I wanted to show you something, Blackjack. You're from Long Island, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what exactly this is? I'm going to show you this. What is this? What the hell is that?
I mean, I don't know what kind of language I can use here, but I'll
is that
try to go as
getup?
PG-13 as I can. That's a douchebag is what that is.
What is that getup? Seriously, what the hell are you going for there?
First of all, Bill de Blasio, not even his real name. Look it up.
Yeah,
not his real name,
right?
It's Wilhelm something. It's not Bill and it's not de Blasio.
He's going for that Cugine name.
He changed his name later in life for reasons that are not clear. So that's number 1. Number 2, a man that old wearing a basketball jersey is an awful look. Number 3, you are supposedly born and raised in New York. There is no way on God's green earth you're not a Knicks fan. None. The Nets played in Jersey for your entire life up until the last decade. Now you're wearing a Nets jersey? Get lost.
By the way, I do want to give him a bit of credit. He didn't change his name to something random, I will say.
It was his mother's maiden name, right? De Blasio?
Yeah, he wanted to honor his mother's maternal side. She was from Italy.
Jeff, why not hyphenate it? Who just changes? And where did you get Bill from?
I'm not sure. Not sure. I don't know if they called him that when he was a kid. I don't know. But I'm not trying to reason. But hey, I don't know what that getup is, by the way. So yeah, I always hate that's a real rough look with hey, I'm trying to be cool. Let's root for. Why aren't you rooting for the Knicks, by the way, either? What's up?
There's no way you're not a Knicks fan. You're a 50-something-year-old man, I'm guessing, in New York. There's no way you're not a Knicks fan.
I still remember right at the height of the pandemic in April of last year, he was telling out New Yorkers do not leave your house. And then they spotted him at a park, walking through the park,
they all did that. They all did that. They're all hypocrites.
Yeah, but that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I saw it yesterday. I thought of you because I know you're not his biggest supporter.
Nobody is.
Is there anyone that likes him?
Find me a New Yorker who likes Bill de Blasio.
But if you're the Nets, you got to say dude, what are you doing? Let's get this guy something that fits. Just give him a hat or something. Does he need to wear the
right? Just put the hat on.
By the way, what did you think of LeBron calling Steph the MVP? What's up with that?
I think he's right.
Well, he's not, though.
I mean, who would you give it to? Embiid?
Jokic. The favorite.
Here's the thing. I think you can make a credible case for 4 guys.
No, you can't.
To win this?
Stop.
Come on. I think
Jokic
I have to argue for Joel Embiid. I think Embiid was outstanding this
Do you know
year.
what Jokic's current live numbers to win the MVP?
No.
Minus 7,000. So basically, you'd
You're
have to play
telling me there's
7.
value on the others.
He's not losing. I know people don't like watching Jokic. It's like watching Pedro.
Okay, but let me just say this.
You hate Jokic, dude.
You're saying minus 7,000, and you know damn well that, like, this is, even if he wins it, it's not going to be a runaway. Like, Steph's going to get a considerable amount of votes. Embiid's going to get votes.
Why do you hate Jokic?
I don't hate him. I
yes,
like
you
him a lot.
do. This is not the first time you've knocked
him. Not going to be a runaway.
First of all, you've knocked him before. Second of all, you are completely out of it with this voting.
I think he's a great player. I don't think he's going to run away with it when Steph Curry's had the season he's had. The media loves Steph Curry. He's a darling of the media. Nikola Jokic is not.
Yeah, one of the craziest things you said, and I think I quote you saying this, you said that you don't think Jokic looks tough at all.
No, I didn't say that. What I said is he's soft.
How?
Soft.
He's an animal.
Soft. Yeah, he's an animal, like a stuffed animal.
I don't know. He looks like
one of those squishmallows.
Yeah, I don't think he does at all. I think he looks like a tough, like, fighter in like a movie or something. He looks like
you've been watching too much Eastern Promises.
No, he looks like you'd see him in like some kind of war movie or something. He's
no Jimmy Burke.
He's no Jimmy Burke. By the way, if
see,
you like the Mob,
see the segue?
Listen, if you like the Mob, great call by Blackjack. If you like the Mob, you like the movie Goodfellas. That is actually true. The whole movie, for the most part. Jimmy Conway in the movie is actually a real guy. He was called Jimmy Burke. That's his real name. They're all real. We did a show about him. It's out right now. Go check it out on The Sit Down, a mob and crime podcast. Blackjack and I talk about the Lufthansa heist. We talk about Paul Vario, who was Paul Cicero in the movie. We talk about that rat, Henry Hill. We talk about Tommy DeSimone and his lunatic stupor. All that stuff. The Spider story, no, you're not all right, Spider. That's true. That actually happened. The Billy Bats story, that actually happened as well. A lot of the movie's true, but there are some things that are wrong. We talked about all that. Jimmy Burke is arguably the most successful non-Italian criminal in the history of the mob, probably outside of Lansky or Bugsy Siegel. So go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It was a great show. We're going to do more of that. We're going to do probably a Boardwalk Empire show. We'll talk about some of those characters, kind of connecting movies to the actual people. And are they real? What was fake? What was not? Okay, let's look to wrap this up, but let's do some best bets before we do that. Sam Comer, Rico Bosco has left the Pick Central studio. Thanks for letting us know. Why does that not surprise any of us? We'll have to get to the bottom of what happened there. Robert Johnson. Wow, this is a comment Blackjack will love. What about Randall for MVP? Listen, Robert, thank you for listening, first of all. Second of all, stop. Seriously. Is he a improved player? Yes, for sure.
I think that Julius Randle deserves to be about...
He's a huge favorite
in the MVP voting.
What was that?
I think he deserves to be about 6th in the MVP voting.
Yeah, maybe even deep. Yeah, probably 7th.
Somewhere around there. He's
definitely the most improved player.
Listen, he's certainly most improved player, and I think he should get some lower tier votes. But should he win the award? No.
I mean, Knicks fans, and I don't know if Robert's a Knicks fan. Seems like a nice guy. Knicks fans are truly lost in the sauce.
They're desperate.
I mean, yikes. And keep in mind, this is the same fan base that after a regular season win, we're celebrating on, 7th Avenue like they just won the title.
Haven't had anything to celebrate.
Losers. Complete losers. What a loser fan base. Yikes. Imagine shooting off confetti, which is something they'd probably do. Crazy. But no, you know what's interesting? The fan base in this city, in this area, Philadelphia, They're just as loserish.
Yeah, y'all are no different. I don't.
Yeah. Don't include me in that. I'm a fan, but I'm a real fan. I've been knocking this team for what they were for and if they win, I'll eat crow. But I don't think, until this season, I didn't think.
Yeah, see, I've just never won anything as a fan. So until the final whistle blows, I just never think it's going to happen.
Right. I'm from Mississippi. We don't have a pro team. Yeah, it's college football territory down there.
Yeah, you do Ole Miss.
Yeah. Are they a pro team?
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I guess they think they're a pro team.
Yeah.
It's pro sports down there. All right, Blackjack, let's get to some best bets. Listen, I have one best bet. I'll give my thoughts on what happens in each game, though. First game, I do think the Spurs have a fighting shot for sure. I think this is a really good line, but once it got to 4, I think the Spurs have a little value here. I agree with Blackjack. I think it's a pretty low-scoring basketball game. We have a total here at 223. I think it's probably first to 115 wins. We just kind of hope that it's not 115, 110. We hope it's like 112, 108 or something. So, yeah, I'm going to lean on the Spurs. I think it's worth the smaller play. My favorite play, though, tonight is the LA Lakers. -5.5 against the Golden State Warriors. As far as props are concerned tonight, I didn't find much I really liked. I thought the Valanciunas props were just too high. If I'm going to make any prop, and I'll probably have a small play on Steph Curry over 36.5, I think it's conceivable to believe that they lose by 10 and he scores 42. I just don't think the Warriors supporting cast is good enough. Blackjack, what do you got tonight?
I'm going under 223 with the Spurs and Grizzlies. And I'm going to take the Warriors in the 5.5 points and say a prayer.
By the way, before we go, I know we don't talk baseball on this show, but if you know me, I've been backing John Means. I've backed John Means basically in every start this season. I've only lost once, and that was because I should have played first 5 last time out, and I didn't against the Mets. Tonight, they play the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays are throwing out a lefty, Ryan Yarbrough. The Orioles are very good against lefties. They're hitting .268 this year against left-handed pitching. Yarbrough is a glorified bullpen guy. I very much am on John Means and the Orioles first 5 -0.5 at +110. If they're down or tied at the half, oh well. John Means is one of the best pitchers in the MLB, and I think he takes care of a Rays lineup that I think he can get the best of. And I like that matchup against lefties. Give me the Orioles tonight. First 5, -0.5, +110. I like it. I'm interested.
I like it.
I'm interested. Means is my guy. Means is my guy. Also, someone's mentioning the Coppa Italia final, Atalanta and Juventus. Atalanta's going to win this match. Juventus is not the old school team they once were. They don't have a great midfield. Yes, they do have Ronaldo. Yes, they do have some talent up front for sure. But again, Buffon is 60 years old in goal. Defensively, they're not that same stalwart group. Chiellini and Bonucci and all those great Fabio Cannavaro. They're long gone, folks. I think Atalanta gets the better of them today. But that's that for us. Any final words from you, Blackjack Fletcher?
No, I'm good. I'm just messing around with FanDuel same game parlay stuff. See how crazy I can get tonight.
Yeah, do it. You can follow Blackjack on Twitter. Blackjack, give your Twitter out. We'll put that in the comments here.
At Blackjack Fletcher, no E's in Fletcher, FLTCHR.
Yeah, definitely had to get a new Twitter account. Tisk on your DCMAs.
Right.
Blackjack. So yeah, I go check him out. He's doing better than Vegas. He's got a lot going on. You got Stable Duel, which you have on your hat there. Shout out to Stable Duel. Go check out their horse racing app. But anything in the PGA, Blackjack? You playing that?
I hate golf.
That's right. You don't like golf.
You know that.
I have to get something in on that. That starts tomorrow. I always like the majors. All right, we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. We got one game to talk about, so we're going to have some fun with it. But it won't be a long show tomorrow. Probably only be 20, 30 minutes. Thanks, Blackjack, for coming on. We'll talk to you over the weekend, I'm sure.
Talking tonight.
Oh, that's right. Tonight, get a betcast. We're going to probably do it on this channel. As long as Pickswise is good with it, which I think they will be. Make sure you subscribe. We'll probably be on here tonight doing that. So check it out. Have a good night. See you later. I'm the big man. He's Blackjack. See you later.